Thank you. Thank you, Bishop. I want to have everyone's attention into the chat. We're going to have a little Laurinburg trivia. And yes, you will win a prize. What the prize is, I haven't figured that out yet, but you will receive a prize. So, Miss Bernadette will put in our first trivia question, and the first person to get that trivia right will receive a gift from the live stream consulting team. That is myself, my company, my team, who is helping Laurinburg today. So you will receive something from us as a thank you for participating. And we will also put your name, we will also have your name on a little award certificate and show it during the today's program as well. So you'll have your name in lights for a little bit. All right. So while she does that, you guys look in the chat. We're going to open up the floor for um, some of our reflections from the alumni and our roundtable. We'll have board members to speak as well as previous Laurinburg Institute graduates. Please feel free to come and speak at this time. Raise your hand and we will facilitate you speaking just about your experience at Laurinburg and sharing a little bit about what Laurinburg means to you and all of that great stuff. Who wants to go first? If you don't know how to raise your hand, there's a little panel at the bottom that says react, or you simply raise your hand in front of the computer and it should raise your hand as well. All right, Mr. Alfred Jones.
Oh, thank you very much. And it's an honor and pleasure to be here. I'm an alumnus of the class of 68. And I see that Lorraine is here as well.
Yes.
Lorraine, you there? Great.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here, Alfred.
Well, listen, no planned remarks. I'm from Harlem and I'm the product. I'm here for two decisions that I made in my life, too important. One was to qualify to be the husband of my great wife, who's 5 years deceased now. But the other was to ask my mother to send me from the streets of Harlem to this place down in North Carolina, southwestern part of North Carolina, called Laurinburg Institute. Of course, she didn't know anything about it. My father didn't know anything about it. I knew about it because we had a lot of renowned basketball players from the area who had gone down there. Lonnie Robinson was one, J.D. Liggins, and so forth. I was in New York, and I was cutting them. And it was on June 24th, 1966, which is almost 60 years ago, that my malefactions caught up with me and put me in a situation at the age of 16 that you wouldn't want to be in. And I looked at what I had done and how I had procrastinated, how I just screwed up my life. And for some reason, a 16-year-old boy had enough enough good sense to ask his mother to take him out of the element that was just leading him down this bad path. And my mother, bless her, stepped up. Laurinburg wasn't an inexpensive endeavor, even back then. And nonetheless, she acceded to my request. I really didn't know what I was getting myself into by asking her to send me down there, except that I knew it was better than I was leading myself at that point. So we go down there in August 1966. And the first thing I've found
See him. See?
is, can you hear me?
Chat.
Yes, Albert.
Yeah. I won't be long. I immediately said I made the wrong decision.
Scores.
Mom, take me back home. And she said, you know, Alfred, give it a chance. You were the one who wanted to come. You're the one who wanted to correct your life. Give it a chance. And I did. This was in 66, graduated in 68, but for going to Laurinburg Institute and all the positive things that happened there, I wouldn't be here. And I've gone on. But, you know, in addition to the education, the academic education, the book learning you got, the key education that I obtained was to be in the example of Mr. F.H. McDuffie, a Black man here down in the 1966 South, who was uncompromising. And those of us who had an opportunity to perhaps ride around with him doing his chores and errands around Laurinburg could see how revered and respected he was to the white people down there who had no respect, I'll have to say, to no one else of color. So in addition to the academic education I got that intangible education of having Mr. Frank as an example. And I think I took a lot of that with me along to my manhood and my fatherhood. I have 3 kids and 6 grandchildren. And I think they have benefited from the example that I benefited from being in the shadow of Mr. Frank. So that concludes my comments, but I'm blessed to have made that decision, to have made that sacrifice, and going on from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Alfred.
Thank you so much. Who is next?
Madam Chair, this is Sylvester Flowers out of Charlotte, North Carolina. If I can get my, there I am.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I promised Bishop I would say a few words about my experience at Laurinburg Institute. I'm from a little country town called Wadesboro, North Carolina, which is about 43 miles west of Laurinburg. Back in the early 60s, segregation in the South meant you had all Black schools and you had, of course, all white schools. Anson County, where I was raised up, was now and then, even then, the poorest county in the state of North Carolina. My granddaddy was a farmer, and my mother was a school teacher who went to the illustrious A&T State University. After I finished the 6th grade, she told me, didn't ask me, but told me, let's take a ride. I want to show you a school you're going to next year. I said, okay. And we rode 43 miles down to Laurinburg, North Carolina. She showed me the facility. She said, you have to stay here in the dorm, but I'll make sure I'll send you food and everything. Now, mind you, I wasn't being asked these things. I was being told what was going to happen. So I want to think the 7th grade on, I was at Laurinburg Institute in its heyday, living in the dorm, cleaning up the cafeteria. And by the way, my partner to clean up the cafeteria every day was one Bishop McDuffie. Every day at the end of the last meal, he and I had to mop the cafeteria floor, clean up. And if you thought Bishop had it easy because his parents were the people who were running the schools. That is not true. He worked harder than I did sometime, and but we would always get a little sandwich left over from Miss Maybell. You all know her. You heard her. We won't talk about her, but you know Miss Maybell, and we go back to the dorm. So that was the experience. By the second year, my mother was teaching in an all-black school, and because it was a segregated system in Elsa County, the word got out where I went. She told everybody how I was enjoying it. By the end of my second year, about 8 or 9 other students from Anderson County decided to enroll in Laurinburg Institute. Uh, Dr. Selma Tuck, who's now a doctor teaching in I think Livingstone College now. Audrey Jones, the late great Etrula March. All these people, we came from the country, and I think actually, Bishop, I spoke with Eddie Mills today, Lieutenant Colonel Eddie Mills, whose
Okay.
mother and his mother and my mother were both teaching in the same school. Eddie Mills became I want to think, a lieutenant colonel and
Right.
fought in Vietnam and helped navigate helicopters. He sends his best. He's living in Wilson, North Carolina. And by the time 2 years ago, I think we had about 20 almost students from Anson County who kind of followed me down here because of what I was experiencing. And all these people now, and I won't take up too much time, are doing great things uh, in life and things was going. But everything that gives you impetus to do well happened at Laurinburg Institute. Someone else might want to talk about the orations, but you didn't get out of here until you said a 15 or 20-minute oration on the stage. I don't care if you were Charlie Scott, the basketball star. Everybody had to go down to this hall, stand up there, look up 200 words, write them, give them to Miss Melton, and stand up there for 15 minutes and say a speech by memory.
I remember.
I don't care if you were going ready to go to UNC, integrate that school. I don't care if you were James Walker, who were going to Providence College. Everybody had to do it. And so those were some great memories. With our band would actually perform in Laurinburg on Thanksgiving Day's parade. And obviously, I think Bishop had a aunt or a relative that were working with the band at Florida A&M. We would march like Florida A&M, play horns like A&T. It was just a kind of beautiful experience. But I can say in conclusion, everybody that I know of that had the Laurinburg Institute experience, just like the gentleman from Harlem, you came out there a better person, and you also came out there realizing that anything you set your mind to do, you could do it. And so there have been some great graduates that came out of Laurinburg Institute, and most of the people that I run into are very humble. They rarely talk about all their successes. They let their light shine for them. And people ask you how you do it. So that's my experience. It was great. We could go on and on. I know other people want to talk about it, but a lot of us wouldn't be where we are or wouldn't know that if you get knocked down, get back up and
Get
get
back
back
up.
in the
That's
game. If,
right.
if we were at Laurinburg Institute, you get knocked down, you get
Get
back
back
up.
up. That's right.
Played on the football field. Obviously, we got down. I was thinking the other day, at the age of 13, I was a right guard, 155 pounds, playing against a junior college team. Who does that? Even though we lost the game, Mr. Frank would tell us, you did the best you could. We went to Asheville in conclusion one time, played football. Bishop remember, at the first half of the game, we were down 30-0. It was so cold in Asheville, some people had set a bonfire up in the mountains, in the woods to stay warm. We came in the halftime, and Mr. Frank told us, he said, I don't know what to tell you. Just got to go back out there and play the second half. But we gave it our best. So much kudos to Bishop, his wife, Bishop is like a brother to me because for 5 years we worked together and did everything in that cafeteria. We had to be brothers, and we had a good experience and some lifelong experiences. And what we are working on now, we will make this become a fruition. It will be a legacy that we will leave behind so that others can carry on and do it, because the African American schools that I go to when I substitute teach now, our kids know how to do cell phones, but they don't know how to do algebra. And so, but they know how to do cell phones and do these things. So we got to fix it so that our next generation of people uh, can come to a school again where they can be molded into useful citizens regardless of their race. So thank you all. I'm glad that the bishop gave me this minutes to go, and I'm encouraged to sit back and listen to some other experiences from the Laurinburg Institute. I was in the class of '67, and my oration was done from a speech done by the great Adlai Stevenson. I still know that now at the age of 76. God bless everybody.
Well, I want to interject here that Levester's nickname was the Tulip. And the reason he was called the Tulip is because he would hit people so hard he put them to sleep.
Oh my.
So we call him the Tulip. Okay, anybody else? Ms. Rajada, I'm gonna turn it back over to you to identify people.
Yes, yes. Who would like to go next?
I would.
Yes, sir. Please have
Okay.
the floor.
I am, first of all, I'm J. Gentile Everett, and I hate to have to leave, but I am scheduled to leave this afternoon, but I wanted to get in and just say a word, if I could, about what I find so incredible about Laurinburg Institute and how it has shaped who I am. I owe a great deal of gratitude and debt to that institution. I think about today, the political and the social and even the racial landscape has essentially morphed the significance of the Institute, I believe, from a mere American to a kind of Juno-esque, a kind of metempsychosis, if you will, because the Institute is a kind of palingenesis that's been servicing Black students and serviced Black students, and it never changed. It continued to do that throughout all of its rich history. And I think about this zeitgeist that we're in. You know, we're led by a leader who's suffering from some kind of vertiginous spirit. There's no doubt about that. And I think it has become an anathema to our community. So what do? We're tired of blending all of these tragedies with hints of farce. What do we do now? I believe it's time for us to really get engaged and really be involved, donate, give money. Let's raise money. Don't be afraid of that, so that we can reach the other young Black students in particular that are coming behind us. And I think opening these doors will not only present a kind of Pyrrhic victory for the school, I think it would erase any notion or any semblance of any macabre denouement and that simply is any tragic ending. If we can just get those doors started and opened again, and it will give impetus, I think, to a renaissance and a new birth for our community. And I think it would give us an opportunity to actually flesh out what the founders believed, and that is simply deeds, not words.
Not words, right? Deeds, not words.
These
Yeah.
not words. Well
Yeah.
said.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Well,
Thank you so much.
I have to come on and just tell you who you were listening to, because the first thing is that's J. Gentile Everett.
Oh,
Now,
Lord.
J. Gentile Everett is a legend.
Oh, Lord, you're too
But he
kind.
came out of a family. His grandfather, his father, all of his family are
Yes,
graduate.
that's right.
Then Gentile holds several degrees. I mean, it's
Oh,
unimaginable.
it's unfortunate.
But he shakes his head, but he prepared himself. And if you listen to some of the words he used, I know you went quickly
Oh,
to your dictionary
no, not
so
necessarily.
so that you could say what?
No, no, no.
Gentile has just completed, I think, his first movie.
Yes,
He's written a book that was one of the best sellers. And really, you know, I don't know where he's going to, but
he
he's probably
doesn't even.
going to, he doesn't, he is probably going to do something for some other people. But for the while that we can keep him, I wish he would just tell you a little bit more about what he does. He had a television show.
Yes.
Tell a little bit, Gentile. I
Okay.
mean,
I'll be very, very brief. Yes, I had a TV show on WBTW, which is an affiliate of CBS, for 7 years, and it went very well. I was fortunate enough to write some books, and my
what was
last
the name of the show? What was the
it
name
was
of the show?
called Social Perspectives.
That's right.
And in fact, the interview that I did with you, Bishop, is still pictures of that still hanging in the corridor at Asher Theater down there in Myrtle Beach. So we're making sure that the Institute is still very well represented. But I did that, and I just completed the first part of the first movie that I have done, and very fortunate. Chris Rock and his mother, they have endorsed it. They've been very kind, and I certainly appreciate the tutelage that they've given. So we're looking forward to that coming out over the holidays.
I don't want to interrupt, but when you say you did it, what did you do? Did you direct it? Did you produce
I was
it?
executive producer. I was executive producer.
Okay.
And it was
with
the
money.
first time that I had ever done anything like that. And it was really exciting. Lord knows these actors and their little old, you all know how people are. Their idiosyncratic ways, you had to deal with all of that. But it was fun, and we got it done. And I now, I own Vive Stream TV. You can go out and check that out sometime. And we are trying to move that to Roku by November. That's what we're planning to do. We just signed a contract with a content distributor last week. So we're trying to move this on to Roku, and that's when we're waiting to release the film. It is completed, and I am proud of the product, and glad that we finally got to the end of this. And I've already written the second book. I have not released it yet. I'm going to do it next year, and I've already written 15 more screenplays that we're going to be filming, and they are going to be addressing some of the racial issues that we have in our time.
See, I tell you, you didn't know what he was.
Oh,
but thank you for sharing that with us, Gentile.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Right.
Thank you.
Of all of his colleges, I tease him the most about his Harvard training.
Oh, Lord.
So he's a graduate of the A&T State University.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you all.
Thank you for coming on, Gentile.
My pleasure. Have a great day, great weekend. I'm praying for all of you. Make sure you eat a lot and laugh a lot more. We'll talk to you soon.
And Gentile started out his ministerial work. He's a reverend, churches, but you started preaching at what age, Gentile?
15.
Yeah. This is
and I got my first church at 15 and a half.
Oh, great.
And I've been one ever since. So y'all pray for this brother.
We'll pray for you.
Yes, thank you. 50 years.
So
50
yes,
years.
sir.
All right. Take care.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's back over to you, Ms. Doggett.
Thank you. That was awesome. Just so you all know, there is a link if you would like to donate online virtually. There is a link in the chat. Miss Bernadette Baker has placed it in the chat. Shout out to Miss Baker. She is manning our chat today
Hey, Miss Baker.
and keeping you all engaged and making sure you have all of the information. If anyone would also like to change their background to our background for today's celebration, that is also in the chat. If you can't see it, if you came on a little later, Miss Baker will post it one more time. You can just simply download it and then upload it as a background, and you can have the same background as we do in celebration for today. We will go to the next person who would like to share concerning their experience and their love for Laurinburg. Who would like to be next?
Rashada, this is Lorraine Crowell.
Yes, ma'am. Go right
How's
ahead.
how's everyone this morning?
Great.
Well,
Wonderful, wonderful. It's good to be with you today. I just wanted to share a couple of comments. In attending Laurinburg Institute from 62 to 68, I experienced two assassinations, President Kennedy, as well as his brother and Martin Luther King. But when I started Laurinburg Institute, a teacher, Miss Smith, told me, I think it was maybe in my 11th year. Well, I'm sorry, in the 11th grade. She said, Lorraine, she said, you be the little package with the big surprise. And I didn't know how to take it then, but as I look back over the years and how my life has come about, I see that it was a big surprise. I, not a college graduate, did attend HBCU, Fayetteville State University, for a year, but because of family, life does happen, I did not complete it. However, coming up under Mr. McDuffie's leadership, along with Miss Sellers and Miss E.M. McDuffie, for the first, well, shoot, I think she was there throughout my 5 years. Bishop, was that right?
Yeah,
When did your grandmother pass?
83.
Oh, okay, yes. So through my 5 years there, I came up under her leadership as well. And it has brought me through many good experiences. I mean, good experiences. It has put me in an arena with people that are making decisions in this country. And I'm thankful for that. And I credit Laurinburg Institute for giving me the courage to stand up and do what I saw fit and be accepted. One being Head Start. I was a pioneer in that institution, just helping to shape how the standards would be. I don't know how long they lasted because I'm no longer with them, but I was on the board of directors in Brooklyn, New York, as a board of director for Head Start. And of course, you know, it was just starting out. So they needed parents to come aboard and teach, or I want to show folk that children that are at home, we have to be guided at home as well as at school. So I'm very proud of that pass, along with being associated with other agencies in this country that had me to travel around the country to make a change and a difference. So Mr. and Miss Ian McDuffie, you will always be in my heart. Mr. and Miss Frank McDuffie, you will always be in my heart for the morals, the principles, the values that you taught me as a young person that was, like Alpha said, headed down the wrong way. You brought me back to now, and I'm so thankful to be here this morning. So that's all I have to say. The orations, oh yes, they were very difficult. Didn't think I could learn the oration by heart, but did. And I think I said it very well. Miss Melton was back there just taking notes on mistakes or whatever. But at Laurinburg Institute was a good, very good experience. And I'm thankful to all the teachers, all the administrators that helped shape my life for the future. My mother was on campus with me. That made it a little difficult because nobody else's parents were there. So, but I had that immediate guidance from my mother. Was roommates with her for 4 years. And the 5th year, she said, well, Lorraine, it's time for you to move out. And so I shared a room with Paulette Parker. And that was a very good experience in perpetuating me further into learning how to live with people and get along with people. And now I'm living in a senior building where there's nobody but seniors in here. And I'm able to get along with them because it's the same as a dormitory style living. So thank you, Miss Ian McDuffie, Mr. Frank McDuffie. Bishop and Cynthia, I wish you the best. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Miss
Thank you.
Lorraine.
Let's see.
for
Thank you,
that.
Lorraine.
Thank you. Good job.
Would anyone else like to speak?
I want to ask Mr. James Stewart to go ahead. He's bashful. That's just been his total personality. But if you will unmute your mic, Mr. Stewart, we'd like for you to have your opportunity, please. There you go. Go right ahead. Yeah. Okay.
It's Bishop.
Okay, James, it's your time.
Trying to get
Go
on.
ahead. Go ahead.
You're on. You're on.
Yeah, okay, I'm on. Okay. Greetings to all. I am James Bernard Stewart, a native of Laurinburg. I am excited to be a part of today's celebration for Laurinburg Institute Founders Day. Laurinburg Institute is a well-known historical African-American preparatory school in Laurinburg with a rich legacy for the output of highly accomplished alumni, including professional athletes, musicians, and more.
Oh, I know.
I'm personally remembering when I was growing up, my sister and I were educated at Laurinburg Institute through music and piano lessons. Then later during my professional career, while working at Benedict College, I had the opportunity to connect with athletic director, Mr. Willie Washington, and former president, Dr. David H. Swinton, with Laurinburg Institute. This partnership has led to several Laurinburg Institute graduates receiving school scholarships for further education at Benedict College. In closing, I am extremely proud to be a Hall of Fame for this great establishment and will always give my support whenever I am needed. Thanks.
I want to tell you all, we were having our first Founders Day and Hall of Fame event at Bright Hopewell Church. And Mr. Stewart brought up the catering service from Benedict College. And he had a sign that said white glove service. And all the people in Laurinburg still want to know who did that. It was remarkable. It was great. And if you want to say that you've done something phenomenal, you say you provide white glove service. That was the motto of James Stewart. So, Mr. Stewart, thank you for taking time to come on today.
Oh, you quite.
And, we're grateful for having you here and a part of the Laurinburg community.
Thank you.
Ms. Doggett. Thank you, James.
You're welcome.
All right. I'm going to see if our host, Ms. D, are you in place to take us to the next?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Thank you, ma'am.
So the next phase of our event today is recognizing our Laurinburg Institute Hall of Famers. If we have any Hall of Famers on the line today, We would like to acknowledge you and say thank you for all that you've done for Laurinburg Institute over the years. If you're on the line, um, excuse me, we'd like to just give you a few moments to give us a few words. Um, so please just
Let me introduce one, if you don't mind, and that's Penny
sure.
Hodge. Her mother, Penny Hodge's mother, up until 2 years ago, was the oldest living alumnus from Laurinburg Institute. And our tradition is when the parent or a relative is a Hall of Famer, when they decease, their offspring becomes a Hall of Famer. So Penny Hodge wouldn't have known to raise her hand, but she is a Hall of Famer because her mom was in the class of 24, 1924. And I'm going to ask Penny to tell a little bit about her mother, and then she's going to introduce herself, a little bit about her, and then she's going to read a poem that she wrote. It was so funny. Rashada and I were on the phone last night, and we were talking with Penny. We said, well, how are we going to get this poem you read to the boss, and she can identify where she read it? She said, Mr. McDuffie, don't worry. I'm going to be on the call so I can just read it myself. And we went, oh, wow, that was a great solution. So I'll turn the floor over to Penny Hodge and ask her to identify herself and her mother to all of you. She was a great lady, Henrietta Davis. Thank you, Ms. Hodge.
Hi, everyone. My name is Penny Hodge. And my given name is Henrietta Lee Hodge, and my mother, her married name, last name was Hodge, so we have the same name. So I'm like she was smaller, but I'll call myself a mini me. I'm going to read the Hall of Fame uh, s- statement that I read at the Hall of Fame when she was inducted. Um, and here it goes. Henrietta Lee Davis was born in Laurinburg in 1916. Overcoming challenges due to her diminutive stature and daily responsibilities of being the oldest child. At age 7, she was enrolled at the Laurinburg Institute. Those years during the founders, Emmanuel Monty and McDuffie administration. Henrietta loved learning and was a voracious reader. She attended Laurinburg Institute until moving first to Raleigh, North Carolina, and then to Boston. Several years after relocating to Boston, she graduated from Girls High School. Some years later, she married and had 5 children. She spent their formative years as a stay-at-home mother. Henrietta's thirst for knowledge, which would not be denied, led her to pursue a college degree. She attended evening classes while working full-time days, setting an example for the importance of obtaining a higher education while maintaining a strong work ethic and instilling Christian values in her family. Persistence and determination pays off. In 1975, after taking one course at a time, Henrietta graduated from Northeastern University with an associate degree in therapeutic recreation. She is the only one of her siblings to attend and graduate from a university. Henrietta worked for the Massachusetts State Department of Employment Security for over 25 years. Obtaining a college degree afforded her the opportunity of advancement on her job. At the age of 75, she retired, ending a long, fulfilling career assisting community residents to find meaningful employment, not just any old job. However, retirement didn't slow her down. She volunteered at Grace Christian School, became a foster grandparent to an autistic child, and was even more active in her church. In 2004, Henrietta was named Mother of the Year by Citywide Ministries of Boston, acknowledging her many years of dedication to church and family and community service. So just to say a little bit more about my mother was 4'9". And so they said she was a small person, 4'9", excuse me, 4'9" and a quarter. She always put that quarter on there because she wanted to make sure she was a little taller. But she, she was in our eyes, she was big nana. She was born in Laurinburg, and she had a lot of responsibility of being the oldest. Even though she was the oldest, she was the smallest, but she had to take care of her siblings. And but she remembered. She told me that she did attend Laurinburg, but she didn't remember the details. She just remembered the teacher asked her what her name was, and she didn't. For some reason, she didn't. She just know Henrietta Lee. So so her mother had to tell my grandmother had to tell her the last name. But she talked about playing by the river, and she talked about when she was a small child. There's a church with a bell next to it. I don't know the name of the church, but she was played by that bell, and that actually her house was across the parking lot from the church, and it's actually now a vacant lot. There's a Sunday school um, building, a church house. Actually, it was a house. It was converted to Sunday school. That's right next to the church. And I know Bishop, you might know where that
It's
is.
called Bright Hopewell Baptist Church.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
The
So her.
river is called the creek.
Okay. Okay. Well, she
That's
called it
how
the river.
everybody on here would know it. It's really Leaf Creek, which is part of the PD River. So
Okay.
they were right.
Okay. So she remembered her and her sister playing in what she called the
And
river.
that was Dixon Street that they grew up on. So
Oh, okay.
other people will know that.
Okay. Okay. And so yeah, so those are the things that she told me about growing up. Like I said, she had kind of a hard life as far as responsibility was concerned. So she focused on that and not her time in Laurinburg. So I did bring her back to Laurinburg when she was 69, and it was so funny because when we drove in and literally not knowing, we went straight to her street. And um, we bumped into someone who put us in touch with Robert Ridgel, who was like the historian of the area. He gave us a lot of information, and he helped us with the getting more information about Laurinburg. So um, my mother, she passed away in February of this year, February 13th. And I wrote this poem on Mother's Day 6 years ago, but I just recently read it at the historic Copley, Copley Public Library in Boston. It's um, the first library in the United States to have a um, free libraries service. It was actually the largest one. It wasn't the first, but it was the first of its size to have a free library. So the public PBS, public broadcasting system, has a station studio there at the library, and they house um, lots of different programs there. And one of them is called Outspoken Saturdays. Outspoken Saturdays has emerging poets, of which I am. I'm a
It's
poet.
still mute.
Excuse me?
I mean, not mute. They still, the video is still up.
Okay.
Somebody's talking. Would you mind muting your mic while the speaker is speaking, please? Thank you.
Yeah, so I read I read a poem in April, and then I asked to come back to read another poem because it was the month of Mother's Day, and I wanted to share the poem with everyone, and that and to honor my mother. So I'm going to read that poem now. It's called Home Now. Going to see Mama, 102 years old, family force, gentle, feisty, and sharp still. Her eyes light up when we enter her home on Mother's Day. Arthritic back, feet, hips, knees steadied by her cane, taking slow, deliberate steps down memory lane's hallway. Sitting at her bedside, gospel music playing in the background, talking about her home before migrating from Laurinburg, North Carolina in 1929, and trusting us with her trail of memories from one side of the railroad track. Talking about her family, her great grandparents formerly enslaved, her mama and her grandma, learning to read at the historic Laurinburg Institute. The school opened at the urging of Booker T. Washington in 1904. Wading in the local river with her little sister, playing in the backyard of their pocket-sized home, enjoying a bowl of chocolate ice cream at the general store before saying bye-bye to cotton fields and tobacco fields, railroad tracks, the general store, the river. Leaving Laurinburg, moving north to Boston, sharing a lifetime of memories at home now. We hand her the gift, not a greeting card or a floral bouquet, a poem written especially for her. She puts on her eyeglasses and reads aloud. A gem of a mother. That's who you are. You're the best mother by far. Precious stones can't compare. There's no one like you anywhere. No diamond, ruby, emerald, or pearl. You're the best mother in the whole wide world. At 102 years old, truth be told, you're more valuable than silver and gold. A gem of a mother. That's who you are. You are our shining star. She says this is the best Mother's Day she's had in 100 years. We hold hands, we hug, we say, I love you. It's our best day too. So, yeah, she really enjoyed that.
Hey,
She
that was
enjoyed.
great, Penny.
Thank you.
You
She
really made
really.
me start watering because you made me think
Oh,
about my grandmother. I bet
oh,
everybody has some semblance of remembrance of those things. Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Penny,
We
how old did your did your mother live to be?
108.
108. My God.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So
were blessed. You were
yeah,
blessed to have.
thank you. Yeah, she was lucid up until like the probably like 6 months, and when she turned 108, she was her mind was in and out, and so I told her that she was 108, and no, this was when it was I told her she was 108, and so she said that's impossible. She said, I said, well, how old are you? She said, I'm 57.
Yeah.
So she had taken away 51 years. And we got a laugh. She even laughed about it because she said she was 57. And I was like, okay.
My goodness. What a wonderful reality.
Yeah. But she to the end, she the the Sunday before she passed, she was on Zoom church, and she still was able to respond to, you know, the message. And yeah, we were there up until the end. So yeah, she really really enjoyed the appreciated the education she had in Laurinburg, and it prepared her for, you know, her journey, her lifelong journey, helping people and never giving up. And once again, deeds, not words.
Thank you so much,
You're welcome.
Penny, for joining us. And as always, whenever we have Hall of Fame events, we'll be calling on you to participate. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Okay.
Ms. Doggett, I turn it back over to you.
Thank you. I just wanted to jump in really quick before we move forward to let everybody know if you're not in the chat, it's heating up over there. So make sure you get in the game with the trivia. I see the same 3 or 4 people answering questions. So they're gonna take home the prize. So make sure you're over in the chat.
Thank
Okay.
you so much, Miss Penny. Do we have any other Hall of Famers on the line joining us today? If so, we would definitely like to recognize you.
We have
Just
2 or
raise your
3.
hand. I'm sorry, go ahead, Bishop.
I was just saying we have 2 or 3. So don't you guys be bashful. Raise your hands.
Raise your hands. Just say hello. If you haven't already spoken today, we would like for you to give some brief remarks. Just say, just let us know what year you became a Hall of Famer.
Oh God.
If
Okay.
we don't want to put you on the spot, but at least say hello to the crowd.
My name is Ozzy Felder, and I would like to say they have my name, my brother's name up in my corner here, Ozzy Felder, and I just like to say that I was happy to become a part of Laurinburg Institute. I think the year was about 2000, maybe 18, I believe, not mistaken. And Laurinburg Institute has been a very inspirational place for me to serve. I tell you, it's so much history concerning that school. I tell you, and it was so bad that needed back in 2000. 1904, and it's needed now more than ever. And I try to. I can't do much, but what I do the best I can, and helping this school along the way.
Mr. Felder, you were inducted in the class of 2019 was your year, Mr. Felder.
What year was that? I didn't have
2019.
2019. I knew it was somewhere
Sir.
in that area. I was making a
I
quick
see.
guess, but anyway, yeah, I've been serving, and I just enjoyed the fellowship and the energy that people have in Laurinburg Institute. And I'm going to continue to try to do the best I can to be a part of Laurinburg Institution for as long as I can, because
Thank you,
it's
Mr. Felder.
a great, institution.
Thank you so much, Mr. Felder. I saw Pat Hagler raised her hand.
Mm-hmm.
You're muted, Pat. Dr. Hagler. Okay, there you go.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I graduated from Laurinburg Institute in 1972, and I believe that I became a member of what year was it, Bishop? 2023?
Yes, that's correct. You can tell Pat's a historian.
2023. So yeah, I had a wonderful experience at Laurinburg. I think that Laurinburg prepared me for higher education. It taught me to be a real student. I think I was a student before, but maybe not a very good one. But I came to Laurinburg, and I learned how to be diligent, how to study, how to be disciplined, to learn that study comes first before fun and games. I think it helped me to compete when I got to Pace University and Union Theological Seminary and New York University. It helped me to be competitive. I think what's most interesting about Laurinburg now, since Bishop already said I'm a historian, recently several of us got together, several Laurinburg alumni got together, about 5 of us got together in New York on City Island. And there were other groups there on that day in the place that we went. And there was a large group of people there that worked for the MTA. It was like an MTA retirees event. So the MTA, you know, the Metropolitan Transportation Authority. So there were a bunch of bus drivers, former bus drivers, subway drivers, and so forth and so on that previously worked for the MTA, and they were having a retirement event. And some of them came over to us, and they were very interested that we were alumni from Laurinburg Institute. One of the gentlemen said that he knew someone that went to Laurinburg, played basketball, and so he was surprised that there were females there, which I thought was interesting. So I guess I have to hurry up and finish my article. He was surprised that there were females there because he said he thought that Laurinburg Institute was an all-boys school and that it was for sports. So we gave him an education on Laurinburg Institute. No, it's not just a school for sports, and no, it was not all male. And he was surprised to hear that. And I'm sure that there are many people around the country that have heard of Laurinburg Institute and think of basketball and think of a male population and don't realize that yes, there were females there at Laurinburg Institute.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Pat, for educating him. And we look forward to your article, and I know that you will share it with us when it's ready.
Yep.
I want to just mention that our first student to enroll on September the 15th, 1904 was a young woman. So the first student at Laurinburg was a young lady.
A woman. Mm-hmm.
And on the call is one of our young ladies today, Samantha Smith. Raise your hand, Samantha. Okay. And her mother refused to not be taught. So she takes classes also, and that's Miss Anna Crosby. And my wife was sitting here looking at them. They were the people answering all the questions.
Oh, wow.
I told Cynthia she's done a good job in educating them because they could answer all the questions. That was we have a couple more Hall of Famers that are on, and I know my sister, Fran Foster, she was trying to say something, but she didn't know her mic was muted. So now that she's unmuted it, maybe she can have her comments. And then my niece, Carmen, and then one of my daughters, Antoinette, another one, Fran McDuffie, all Hall of Famers. Fran, you go first.
Hello, everybody. I'm sorry I missed the first part of this wonderful Zoom call to celebrate the 121st Founders Day. Before I say anything, I would like to show you, but I'll wait. I'll wait till after Janet's name is off so you can see. Bishop, what year did I join the Hall of Fame? I have no idea.
Okay, let me check. I'll be checking. I'll check while you're talking.
But I wanted everybody to see this book. And this book is called The Laurinburg Institute. It was written by a white person from Laurinburg named Elizabeth Jones. And we did not hire her to write the book. We only found out at Laurinburg that she was writing the book when she approached some of us to interview us about our experience at the school. But if you have somebody who wants to know something about the school, that you can get this on Amazon. It's called the Historic Laurinburg Institute. And I'm not going to say any more. I, of course, love Laurinburg Institute and have been a part of it since I took my first breath, because I was born there on the campus, actually in the house that I was born in, the house that I grew up with, and have been a part of it since that time. And hopefully we'll get a chance to say something a little later.
And Fran, you were inducted in 87.
In 87?
Yes.
I probably was 2 years old then.
Okay. All right. Carmen, you're next. That's my niece, Carmen Foster McLean.
Good afternoon. Just wanted to say hello and glad to be a part of this celebration. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to give all my now or just go ahead and start. So can I give some thoughts?
Rashada?
Graduate.
Is that okay? Okay, go right ahead, Carmen. And as Dr. McLean, she and my sister have a traveling mobile eye clinic, and they go all over the state helping people to keep their vision. Go right ahead, Dr. McLean.
So when I think about Laurinburg, I think about hospital corners, and being in the dorm, learning to make my bed and making sure that my corners were proper. I remember salmon cakes and grits, Vesper, summer camp. So my mother's summer camp, coin telephone. Everybody has mobile phones now. And mother, go to mute, because I remember Newports. That was one summer. I never inhaled, but you know, dorm life allowed you to experience a lot of things. I experienced, you know, living away from home, learning to play tennis and basketball and swim, because all those things were possible in the summertime for a kid from Kansas, who, you know, growing up in Kansas, you didn't see a lot of people that looked like you. But in Laurinburg, everybody looked like me and otherwise, because it was very diverse. Kansas wasn't the most diverse place. Today, when I was taking my son to take his SAT, you know, he was very nervous about taking the SAT because he's worried about school violence and all the things that are happening in our country. And some of the things that I started to think about was, you know, Seth, you're concerned about school violence, but you still got to move on. And I told him that, you know, Laurinburg Institute was founded when my great-grandfather was about, you know, 20 years old. I mean, he was in his, you know, he wasn't much older than Seth was, who was going to take his SAT. And I said, you have to move and push past fear. And that's what a lot of you did as alumni, is you push past your fear of having to be in a place that was unknown with people that you didn't know, teachers that you weren't familiar with, material that you weren't familiar with. And you have been, the foundation of what Laurinburg Institute is, the alumni, and all the stories that you have been able to tell, and the good lives that you have led. And that's what we want to continue to grow. The other thing I remember about is people worked harder than the average people at the Institute. Everybody worked harder. The janitors, the people that kept the grounds, the cafeteria workers, the dorm directors, the teachers worked harder. I hadn't seen people work, my grandparents ever. I wondered when my grandparents went to sleep, because they were constantly interested in the development of the students at the school, every student. And I think one of the successes and the reasons that Laurinburg Institute is so successful, because everyone was seen and heard. You couldn't cower away in a corner and hide, because my grandfather or my grandmother or teacher would find you, and you would be heard, because you would have to do an oration. There was no way to get out of that. And I think those things that were put in place allowed people to overcome their fears, and to do it in a small place, so that you could develop a good sense of who you were. So from whatever background you came, when you got to Laurinburg Institute, you were seen as an individual. You were developed as an individual. And that's really what we want to continue to do, and to continue to grow and to bring students who come where we develop them in this really difficult world. The world has changed, but the game is still the same. And education is the only way out for us. And so when my son was saying, Mom, I don't want to take the SAT. I don't think I'm going to do well. I, didn't sleep last night. And I said, well, you've got to take it. You've got to overcome fear. And when you overcome your fear, you will do better. You will be more successful. And so I picked him up today, and I wanted to support you as a mother today. When I was deciding, well, should I turn around, drop you off, and kind of nudge you and force you to make a decision what you were going to do with the SAT. And he got in the car, and I said, well, how did it go? And he said, it was easier than it was last time. And I said, if I as a mother hadn't kind of forced you to face your fear, then perhaps you wouldn't have had the opportunity to be successful. And I think that if we all, and I think that the students at Laurinburg, you faced your fear. You faced your fear of what academic success could. You faced your fear of having to stand in front of people. And I am just so thankful that I was, as a young person, able to see the giants on the campus and the students on the campus that I looked up to, and to see you guys talking about the lives you've led. I'm just amazed and grateful that I get to be a part of it, not as an alumni, but just as someone who has been fortunate enough to walk the grounds of Laurinburg Institute. And I hope that I can do a service to the future alumni at Laurinburg Institute in any way possible. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Carmen. Carmen, Fran Foster, Tony McDuffie, and Francis McDuffie Britt, three of our Board of Trustee members, and we're grateful to have them on. next person should raise their hand. Pat has her hand raising, and Renee Hauser has her hand raising. So we'll go back to Pat and then go to Renee, and then anybody else.
That was a
One quick
hand clap.
Oh, a hand clap. Okay. All right.
one quick second, Bishop, just as a note, after we conclude with our Hall of Famers, we're going to take a quick break just to give everyone a chance to take a little stretch. We've been at this quite a bit, for quite some time, and we just want to give everybody an opportunity to take take a quick stretch break. And we got to make sure we keep everybody's blood moving and that kind of thing. So after we finish up with our Hall of Famers, we want to do that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Another Hall of Famer.
Hi, everybody. Francis McDuffie Brett. Sorry to be late, but I'm very, very happy to be on with all of you today. I just want to say it's just such a privilege to be an alumnus from Laurinburg Institute, because it is just historic, but also, as Dr. McLean was saying in her comments, it really made a difference in the people who attended there, who worked there, who were there, because it was an environment in which people could be nurtured. And sometimes that nurturing came a little bit in tough love, but it was always fundamentally, you knew people cared about you and wanted what was best for you. I cannot emphasize or really adequately articulate the impact that the school had on me, not only because of my family being involved with this, but having attended there. It is one of the few times in life where you were called upon to step forward and put yourself in uncomfortable positions as a student, having to do Christian endeavors, having to do public speakings with the oration, having to do senior syllabus to pass and graduate. It's a little bit kind of like when I went to law school and you had to take the bar exam. You invested all this time and energy in taking the classes and taking tests, and you had to pass this one final exam in order for your work to be recognized and able to move forward. So, I've kind of was already introduced to the pressure of having to perform academically, being at Laurinburg Institute. Also got a taste of being around people who had different viewpoints than myself. A lot of people were not from small rural Laurinburg, North Carolina, who attended Laurinburg Institute. And that really prepared me to be able to work with people who had different viewpoints than my own and different backgrounds. And also, again, moving oneself into a comfortable position at first, looking through life as how others see it. And I think that really has served me well throughout my life. I know it's served me well now as I work with other people and organizations. And I'm very grateful for all of you being here today and continuing in remembrance of the legacy of the school, but also the work of the school. And very glad to be here in fellowship with you all today. Thank you.
Okay. I think we have one other Hall of Famer. That's Antoinette McDuffie. You're muted, Tony. Take your mute off. There you go.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Antoinette McDuffie, class of 1993 with Laurinburg Institute. Of course, Laurinburg Institute is just my home. I wasn't born on the campus, but I lived in McDuffie Village, right, Dad?
Yep.
Okay. Laurinburg is a community, a unique situation. I did feel that I was able to compete with, not even academically, but really personally, personable. I became a personable person, able to speak in different environments, situations, and forums, just from, Vespers, Sunday school, and just the leadership roles that I held while at the school. And also, too, just seeing my other fellow classmates have that confidence of speaking. Pat, I want to tell you, I love the food on City Island. And I was just with the group in Charleston about 2 months ago, and they had retired from the MTA. And they were just telling me of how, that group gets together and celebrates their retirement. And, they actually take trips together and all types of things. And I want us at Laurinburg to start doing more of that, of getting together. It's so good to see everyone on this call today for the Hall of Fame. And I don't know, I don't remember what year I became a Hall of Famer. What year was that?
I'll look it up.
Okay. I should know that, and I'll remember it from now on. But yes, so I'm in Charlotte. It is family weekend in Charlotte, and I'm about to get ready to tailgate with my daughter and her dad and his family. So just kind of got some different moving parts going on, but I just definitely have been listening. And it's just wonderful to see and hear from everyone on this celebration of Laurinburg Institute.
And you're there because my granddaughter is where?
Oh, yes. Blair is a freshman at UNC Charlotte.
All right.
Yes. Yes. So we have a game today at 6, and we're going to be tailgating and also to celebrating Blair's Nana's 81st birthday on 9/11. So these are some of the things that I've got going on. So I have been kind of in and out, but I'm on, but I'm muted. Okay.
Okay, you're the class of 19, Tony.
19.
Hall
Okay.
of Fame. Okay.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. Thank you.
Rashada, can I take a second to pay a tribute?
Sure.
Is that possible? Okay. I'd like to just take a second for her. I'd like to pay a tribute to Miss Melton. And so much has been said about the bane of our existence at Laurinburg being the oration. We all had to go through it. You knew you had to do that before you graduated. So if you were there for 2 years, you knew you had 2 years of anxieties getting up to that. But you also had so much work to do to get it done. And I only recently, in preparation of this call, realized that the oration and all the research behind it had to be handwritten in those days. So in tribute to Ms. Melton, and but for the oration, I don't believe I would have gone to law school and become the writer that I have become as a result of that. But I was forced to that. But in preparation for this gathering, I uncovered my original oration.
Wow.
Which is in handwriting. I'm going to show it here, right here. This is part of it. Of course,
put it up a little closer to the screen. Bring it a little closer.
How many pages was that, Alfred?
You're probably not going to be able to see, but I'm going to tell you what it is. So it's Alfred C. Jones, English 1.3, March 26, 1968, titled Position and Duty of the American Scholar by Theodore Parker. And of course, we had a whole host of research that we had to do. Everyone here has had to do that. I just only realized that it had to be in handwritten. And I had good handwriting in those days. Nothing like it would be today. But I want to, I have to pay Miss Melton. And she gave you tough love. As someone said tough love. She gave you tough love. But for Miss Melton, but for the that obstacle of the oration and not only the preparation but the presentation and overcoming the anxiety, public speaking in front of front of your peers, in fact. You know, I would not think I would have become a lawyer, or you know, perhaps the person that I become. So I want to pay a tribute to Miss Melton. She was absolutely.
Alfred, how many pages was your oration?
My oration, let me dig it up. I'll take a second to do that since you've asked.
Mine was 7 pages written and 4 pages typed.
Okay.
I'm
gonna pick up the typewritten version right here. And the typewritten version is 6 pages.
6 pages.
But and this stuff survived in pretty good condition, I'd say, you know, after almost 60 years, you know. So
was second inaugural address by Abraham Lincoln.
Okay. Well, all right. Super. Anybody else?
I would like, I'd love to share a story that Bishop knows well. A gentleman was trying to recruit a young man to his college to play basketball. And he said the young man even cried to him because they told him that he had to say his oration to graduate. And this coach went to Bishop to see if he could be given something else so he would not have to say an oration. And at that time, I was chairman of the board of trustees at Laurinburg, and Bishop gave him my number and told him to call me. And so when he called me and he explained to me what was going on, and this young man had done his syllabus and everything, but he was just frightened to do his oration, and he wasn't sure if he could graduate if he didn't do it. And I told the coach, I said, you know, sir, I said my dad's oration before I could graduate in 1959. My dad, who was a student at Laurinburg, said his sister's oration when he graduated in the 30s. And his sister graduated in the early teens from Laurinburg Institute. It's something that everybody does. And no, he cannot graduate without saying his oration.
Right.
Long story short, the young man said his oration. He did well. He was prompted once or twice. And when he finished, all the kids in school at that time stood up and gave him a standing ovation because they knew how hard it was for him to do that. We all have oration stories. I won't tell you mine.
Thank you.
But you know, that I'll just lastly say that distinguished us, I believe, all of us, back from 1904 to the day. And that distinguished us from our peers who had not had that type of responsibility, duty to graduate. So some of us capitalized on it, perhaps some of us did not. But it would really, it's the germ that we all share.
That's right. Mine was the Atlantic Exposition by Booker T. Washington.
All right.
I'd like to say that Frances McDuffie Britt is my namesake. She's my niece and my namesake. And mine was the same oration. Same oration. My dad's was the same oration. And my aunt, Verdell McDuffie, had the same oration. I also like to say that Aunt Iva Melton,
Yes.
had me so prepared.
Yes.
That when I went to Florida A&M for my first year of college, my instructor used my papers, my first 2 papers, as examples of how papers should be written. And it was all because of Aunt Iva, all because of Aunt Iva, who unfortunately, when I was in high school, sometimes I didn't treasure her as much as I should have.
Yeah.
I tell the story that one time with my first paper that I did under her tutelage, when she handed it back to me, I thought she had cut her finger and shaken the blood all on my paper, because I figured there's no way that any human being could make that many red marks on a piece of paper. She was tough, but she was good.
Yes, yes.
And I was a Spelman graduate, and we all benefited tremendously from her training. I'm going to turn the program back over to Rashada. We're going to take our break now, right? And you've got to meet Lionel Gums, who's from the U.S. Virgin Islands, Chewy Sampson from San Bernardino, California, now living in Texas. You'll get a chance to see some more people as they join. And I saw where our board chairman, Willie Washington, came in, but he got off. He's probably doing something. He'll come back on. So I'll turn the pause over to Ms. Doggett and her and Ms. D. Yes. How long are we pausing for? Okay.
Good afternoon again, everyone. We want to just thank everyone who has participated in the first half of the program. Your comments and the gems that you dropped during your comments were truly a treasure. Thank you so much. Now we're going to take a 15-minute pause, and we'll see you back in just about in 15 minutes.
Thank you. I guess.
Hello,
Well,
everyone. We should be getting started back momentarily. Rashada, are you back on? We're going to be moving into our next phase just as soon as Rashada lets me know that we are ready.
We are ready. Give me one moment so that I can get everything queued up.
Okay.
And we're going to move into our mini documentary that was created from last year's events by my daughter who couldn't make it. She had to work today. And this is also available for access, and we'll put the link for everyone if you want to for a donation to have access to it on your own, but we're going to show it to you today. So just sit back and relax, grab your popcorn, grab some snacks, and we will get started momentarily.
Simply recognize some of the people I know are on that have joined us since our previous, hold on one second.
Oh, I thought you were saying something, Bishop.
I was just saying, I want to recognize several of the people who've come on since we took our break. One is Dexter Cummings, and we're going to have an opportunity to let him have something to say because, first of all, he's an attorney, but second of all, he always has wise things. Gladys Ingram, who's been on for a while, needs to be recognized and have some opportunity. And you guys are doing a great job, and we're so appreciative.
Awesome. All right, we'll get started.
I really want to express not only my sincere thank yous for you all. Had you all not showed up, it would have been not an event. But each of you know how important you are to me. I probably worry all of you too much. I probably do. What I want to see happen, I want to see Laurinburg come back, but we got to go past coming back. We have to go into guiding and leading. You all are the only people who know better. None of the kids we are talking about have any of the knowledge except for Tiana. They just don't have it. So we get mad at them for not knowing. We get disgusted with it. But because they don't know, they can't do what we want and think they should be doing. 128 years. 120 years. I purposely asked a lot of people, do you know a business that's lasted 120 years? And then when you add the adjective of black business, it drops even faster. The amazing thing about Laurinburg is that it was a black business, but it wasn't work. It was love's harvest. Nobody in the McDuffie family stopped working. They died working. You know, it's a really amazing thing in our belief in Christianity. It's really, really, really all about helping someone else. Then you get help. When I was growing up, it was hard to conceptualize that the Son of God came here and had nothing, but was willing to die to save us all. Nothing? Willing to die? Who raises a hand for that? So I'll ask my wife Cynthia if she'll come up and welcome everybody. She's a much more inviting looking face than mine. So thank you, Cynthia, for being here and helping us out.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2024 Founders Day program. It is indeed a great honor and pleasure for me to welcome you to this program. I'm super excited about our program and the amazing guests that we have here this afternoon. Our Founders Day committee has worked tirelessly to ensure your enjoyment for the whole weekend and this afternoon. They've been holding weekly conference calls, Zoom calls, and calls in between for several months now, planning this program. We take this opportunity to reiterate our thanks and appreciation to our speaker, Reverend Pierce, and our distinguished guests who are in our audience today. I also take this opportunity to reiterate our thanks and appreciation to all the friends and community who have supported us and for this important event and throughout the years on all our initiatives and programs at Laurinburg Institute. Laurinburg Institute has long been recognized and respected for its commitment to producing young men and women who are prepared to contribute to a global society. Your presence this afternoon attests to this fact, as so many of you yourselves, as I look out and see several graduates who are here, you are the embodiment of the quality of education that the school produces. It is our hope that you will leave this program this afternoon with a renewed sense of commitment to dear Alumni. I am so happy to see you. I hope that this program will be great and successful. I hope that you will enjoy the program and have a good time. Thank you for joining us.
I call my friend who is the county commissioner here in Scotland County, Mr. John Alford, and I put double duty beside his name. He's going to do the scripture and the prayer.
Our scripture reading for today will come from the book of Proverbs, the 9th chapter. I'll read 2 verses, 9 and 10. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be yet wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Let us pray. To the all-wise God of the universe, we bow down to give you thanks. And oh God, we ask this day as we gather in this great building, help us to remember those who have no building to meet in. And when we meet with friends such as we have here today, help us to remember those who have no friends. Now, dear God, we ask that you bless this great nation, this great state, and this great county. Continue to smile on us from yonder's heaven, so that we can be the people that you created us to be. Now, God, we thank you for this occasion as we remember the founders of the Laurinburg Institute. We pray in the name of Jesus that you will continue to bless those who keeps this dream alive. And oh God, now we ask that you bless this program. Those who have traveled, continue to be with them. Those who are nearby, oh God, we ask you continue blessings upon them. For we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay, I want to call my sister, Fran Foster. Fran Jean McDuffie Foster to the front. She wrote this poem and it was adopted as, it will be
it has become our school poem. And tell a little bit about when and how you wrote it.
Okay. So anybody who went to Laurinburg Institute remembers Iva Milton. She was the junior and senior English teachers, and she was tough. She was my aunt, so she was harder on me. You would think she'd be easier, but no.
They like Fred. They didn't like me. It was hard on me.
So sometimes around early May of 1959, she decided that one of our class assignments would be for each student to write a school poem, a poem that could be used as a school poem. And I was very fortunate that my classmates chose mine to be the one that would be recommended to my dad, Frank McDuffie, to represent our class. So I'm going to try to remember it here. Bishop was supposed to have it printed, but he didn't. Stately neath the sun-decked sky, our banner waves, our colors fly. Beneath the school we love so dear, the one that ever is so near to all our thoughts, our actions. We now go forth to face the world. We go not forth as one who's hurled against his will, for this we know, that if thy teachings we do keep, we need not fear nor be afraid. Thank you.
Rejoicing, rise high as the
often referred to as the Black National Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing was a hymn written as a poem by NAACP leader James Weldon Johnson in 1900. His brother John Roseman Johnson composed the music for the lyrics. So one wrote the poem and the other one wrote the lyrics. I want you to know that. A choir of 500 school children at a segregated standing school where James Weldon Johnson was principal first performed the song in public in Jacksonville, Florida, to celebrate President Abraham Lincoln's birthday. At the turn of the 20th century, Johnson's lyrics eloquently captured the solemn yet hopeful appeal for the liberty of Black Americans, set against the religious invocation of God and the promise of freedom. The song was later adopted by the NAACP and prominently used as a rallying cry during the civil rights movements of the 1950s and the 60s. So check that off as something you learned today. A poem and then the lyrics.
Thank you all for having me here today. It's a deep honor. My name is Garrett Ripke, and I am the legislative assistant for our speaker today, Representative Garland Pierce. So I work for him full-time up in Raleigh. I'm very happy that a couple of months ago at Bishop McDuffie's, after a conversation with him, we put in a request to the governor's office for a proclamation to recognize the 120th anniversary of the historic Laurinburg Institute. And we're very pleased that we have that proclamation today from Governor Roy Cooper. And I would like to present that to you now. I'll read it and then I'll introduce Representative Pierce. State of North Carolina, Roy Cooper, Governor. In recognition of the Laurinburg Institute 120th anniversary 2024 by the Governor of the State of North Carolina. A proclamation. Whereas the historic Laurinburg Institute in Laurinburg, North Carolina is celebrating its 120th year in operation, and whereas the Institute has served for over a century as a beacon of higher learning and opportunity in the Sand Hills region of North Carolina and beyond, and whereas the Institute has pioneered progress in North Carolina as the first secondary education institute for African American students in Scotland County and surrounding areas. And whereas the Institute has brought recognition to the state of North Carolina through generations of internationally renowned alumni and works. Whereas through its accomplishments since 1904, the Laurinburg Institute has fulfilled its mission of deeds, not words, as well as the North Carolina motto, to be rather than to seem. Now, therefore, I, Roy Cooper, Governor of the State of North Carolina, do hereby proclaim September 14th, 2024 as a day in recognition of the Laurinburg Institute 120th anniversary in North Carolina and commend its observance to all citizens.
Thank you.
I'd like to recognize the Mayor of Laurinburg at this time.
Jim Lewis.
Thank you very much. That's nice to get one from Raleigh. Y'all, I got one. I'm really honored to be here today. I'm not even sure Bishop and Francis know how well I knew their father. We always called him Dr. McDuffie. But Francis and I worked for my father, and part of what we sold was sporting goods and athletic equipment. So we did some business that way with Dr. McDuffie Institute. But we also rented space from him in the building that he owned that was adjacent to my father's building. And for those of you from out of town, you may not know that it's now the pass-through, we call it, from Main Street. It goes back to what I must admit I suggested the city council be named McDuffie Square. Therefore, whereas the Laurinburg Institute is ranked number 5 of the top 10 high schools that have produced the most NBA players in history by Elite Daily Magazine, with 11 players produced, And whereas the distinguished history of the Laurinburg Institute is recognized by the U.S. House of Representatives in House Resolution 660 on October 22, 2009, and whereas the dedication of the McDuffie family in creating and sustaining the Laurinburg Institute resulted in many African Americans in Laurinburg and Scotland County being able to receive an education, Laurinburg Institute is the oldest of only 4 historically African American boarding schools still remaining in the United States. And whereas the Laurinburg Institute has graduated students of color since 1904. Additionally, since 1954, many graduates of the Laurinburg Institute have finished college or other post-secondary education. And whereas the Laurinburg Institute's distinguished alumni include Sir John Swan, the former Premier of Bermuda, one of the first African Americans to be a head of state in the Western Hemisphere, and Joy Johnson, one of the first African Americans to be elected to the North Carolina General Assembly after the Reconstruction era. Alumni also include internationally renowned jazz trumpeter John Burks Dizzy Gillespie and 2 Olympians, Charlie Scott and Beverly McDonald. Therefore, I, James T. Willis, as mayor of the city of Laurinburg, hereby proclaim September 14th, 2024 as the Laurinburg Institute Founders Day in the city of Laurinburg and encourage all community members to recognize and participate in Laurinburg Institute's Founders Day activities and events. This day serves as a testament to the essential role that the Laurinburg Institute plays in our communities and the lives of many individuals and their families. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the city of Laurinburg to be affixed.
So without further ado, it is my privilege to introduce former chair of the Legislative Black Caucus for the state and the 4th most senior member of the North Carolina House of Representatives, Representative Garland Pierce.
He's working on his raise. Okay. They're gonna pass a bill for that. I'm just glad to be here today to share on this very important day in the life of this very fine institution that has withstood the test of time. It's only fitting that you celebrate here with Wright Hopewell today. Wright Hopewell Institute has a great history together, and you have been a part of each other, and I'm just delighted to be here today. I want to thank you, Mr. McDuffie, President McDuffie, and your family, and your staff, the Laurinburg Institute, for having me with you on this momentous occasion here in Laurinburg. But if y'all will, just for a few minutes, let's take a moment to put ourselves back in the year 1904. The sights, the sounds, the feelings. A North Carolina that was still among the most rural state in the nation. There was no research train park. There was no interstate highways. A trip across Compton County involved.
We are going to pause just for a moment because we have 2 prestigious individuals on the line that would like to speak that we had on the program and also need to get to other events. We're going to put on the documentary closer to the end of the program to finish out. But Mr. McDuffie, if you would like to introduce those 2 individuals for us to go ahead and speak, and then we will resume the program. Thank you all for your patience.
Okay. Well, I wanted to recognize Representative Garland Pierce, who's on the line, and also our board chairman, Willie Washington. So you all can take, how you do the rocks break paper or whatever to decide who goes first. Both are Hall of Famers. So we'll take Representative Pierce. Representative Pierce, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm sitting on the front porch of your home, Mr. McDuffie. I thought you were in the house. I'm sitting on the front porch.
Well, we're coming to get you in the house. That's
well, I'm sitting on the front porch, but I didn't know you were home. But I do want to greet everyone. It's been a busy day today, but I thought it not robbery to be a part of this conversation today and to continue to to congratulate Laurinburg Institute for all that they're still attempting to do. The battle's not over yet. It's still work yet to do. But I thought about a thought today that I wanted to share with everybody on the call. I was thinking about.
Come on in first, Representative. Come on in so you can sit and be. Come right on in. Come right on in.
Okay. Yeah.
Come right on in.
The kitchen. Okay. I'm walking around in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
you have to hang up that, and then you come right here. Okay.
Oh, that looks better.
There you go.
Good afternoon. You still got this. I'm on the picture with you now.
All right.
You know, I thought about something. Mr. McDuffie, I've been dealing with something kind of like church work, but I thought about the struggle of leadership and followership. It's not a new struggle, but it's a struggle that we'll continue to deal with. And in order for us to move forward in so many areas, that being education, workforce development, our communities, we've got to recognize leadership and be willing to follow. It's a struggle, but I think when we have, like myself, I'm a state legislator and a pastor. Followership is so important. Leadership, first of all, leadership is so important. And we've got to learn to respect those in leadership. If we have differences of opinion, of course, we need to share those with our leaders. But at the same time, if we weaken them and others see that we're not in sync with what they're trying to do, it creates a real problem. So I just wanted to thought about that thought coming over, just the struggle of leadership and people in positions of leadership. Especially when you do all that you can and you continue to let others know that you're trying to do the best for the community, for the church, for the institute and others, somebody's got to be willing to recognize those leaders. We're not just put in leadership by just osmosis or we're leadership because I just believe that God has put a lot of us, most of us, in leadership positions based on our wisdom, our knowledge, and our understanding. Number two, followership. First of all, you can't lead if you've never practiced followership. It's so important to follow. You don't know some people think they know everything. The leader don't know what they're doing. But we all have got to learn the principle of followership. We have children who follow us, and many of us have successful children because they have followed our teaching, our guidance, and they felt like we knew what we were talking about. And I think all y'all on the call can witness to that today. So I just want to just continue to talk about just the struggle of leadership and the struggle of followership, because it's amazing to me they go hand in hand. If you can't lead, leading is hard. Followership is sometimes difficult, but we've got to find a way going forward in 2026 and beyond to respect our leaders and be good followers and to hear their voice. If you have differences of opinion, I think that's the problem with it. We have differences of opinions, I get it, but tell the leader, talk to the leader about the problem, not everybody else. When I was a young boy in the barbershop, there was a saying there, which I still think about: if you don't vote, don't talk politics in here. So I'm just thinking, if you never led, you don't really know a lot of times what you're talking about. Learn to be a good follower, and everything else will fall in place. Thank you for just letting me say that. That's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, leadership and followership. Yeah. So important. They go hand in hand. Well, good evening to everybody. I'm just glad to be here. Continue to encourage people to vote. A voteless people is a hopeless people. So please, and my favorite thing is now when people complain about all this going on, I tell them these magic words: elections have consequences. So when we fail to vote, we get, might not be proper, got some English majors on this call, but we get what we get when we fail to do what we need to do. Good evening to y'all. I'm going to sit here a little while and listen, but thank y'all for allowing me to go on and talk about my theme. I'm going to use that theme somewhere else. Follow the struggle of leadership and followership. Good evening to everybody.
I want to point out one thing before the representative is here, but this is his pen.
Oh, yeah.
This gives him his
authority. Where's it at?
That's right. He's a member of the House of Representatives of the great state of North Carolina.
And let me share this, Brother McDuffie. I'm the number 2 minority in the whole. At 170, I'm number 2 minority. Only other person that has me, as some of you know, is Dan Blue from Bowie, North Carolina, a little country boy down in the country. So it's quite an honor to have that title to be number 2 in the North Carolina General Assembly in minorities.
And you've been
in the top 10.
And you've been in service how many years now?
21.
21 years. All right. Okay. Mr.
You sitting there.
Mr. Willie Washington, you're up next, sir.
Hi.
Our board chairman, Mr. Willie Washington.
Good day to everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Well, I tell you what, it's a great honor to have the time, and I just want to say to Representative Pierce, thank you for all that you're doing and all that you've been doing. I've watched you many years.
Yeah.
And thank you. I'm certain the community is very proud for the things that you have provided them with, because you need someone at the table if something is going to be passed out, and it's passed out at the table. So when you have a representative,
if you're not at the table, Willie, you're on the menu. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu.
Yeah, you're right, because you probably won't get served. You got to have somebody at the table. And thank you, Representative Beard. But I just want to say to the McDuffie family before I started, as I thought about the 121 years and I think about Founders Day, it's just a great feeling I get, because this family, and I made a note, you stood the test of time. You've been there. As I look back and I think about the founders, and I think about the long trip that they made from Snow Hill to get there to Laurinburg and Scotland County, and walking, not riding now, walking and getting there any kind of way that you could. Can you imagine the many nights and the heartaches and the pains? But they had a goal in mind. Their goal was that Booker T. Washington said, hey, go there, and what I want you to do is build me a school. Build a school that we'll be able to educate young Black people. That'll be your school, and we could work for that. And that's the only thing I can keep in my mind as I think about Laurinburg. That they never said, hey, we're going to quit. We can't make it. Yeah, I can just imagine what they had to go through. But then when I think about 121 years, I can just imagine what the McDuffie have put up with and had to go through. So I'm here to say that the legacy lives on. And I know the hard work that you all put in. That's why I do everything in my power, and I share my time and everything else that in any kind of way I can help at Laurinburg. You know, I had the opportunity, since serving on the board, to meet a lot of people through Laurinburg Institute. And those are great individuals who have gone, you know, they sit in the classroom, or they were educated there at Laurinburg. And, you know, these are individuals like Disby Gillespie in the area of music. Quite naturally, we can talk about Charlie Scott, and we can talk about all the professional basketball players that was at Laurinburg. But what about the individuals like Dr. Fran there? What about the other individuals like the judge who's sitting there? I mean, individuals who know what it really means and what it takes to stay and not give up. That's what the Founders Day is about. Now, I'm not going to get on and talk about all these pages of notes I got here, but I'm not going to use that time. I just want to make a plea to those out there listening. We have a newsletter that we put out. Now, Bishop right there, we call him Bishop. I think he might have a little Bishop in him. But what we need to do, we need to get your email address so we can keep you aware or keep you informed of what's going on at Laurinburg. And there's some great things happening now. You know, individuals like Representative Pierce in the background have made some things happen for Laurinburg that we want to share the news. And we want you to be a part of the news. So I make this plea. That's one of the things I make the plea for. But you know, you don't make 121 years without everybody stepping up to the table, not taking a meal off the table, but helping to put a meal on the table for someone else who will follow you. Laurinburg at this time, I'm asking for the support that I can get from anyone who will join the Laurinburg family in supporting the Institute. Yes, we've changed our focus some, more community minded and doing more things in the community. But we still need to help those young people who come as students, that we need to get out there and change their narrative. Let's take them back to the point where education becomes one of the top factors, rather than going out, hanging out with friends and things of that nature. Let's make certain that we offer the extra steps that it takes. You know, as I look at the individuals who's been on this program and the ones who will come before me, you're successful because someone helped you or helped to guide your path. We want to guide the path of those young people, no matter where they are, but some are right there around us that individuals on this call should recommend that they come over and see the McDuffie, sit down with them and talk about the programs, talk about leadership, talk about the character of this program, the integrity and what they had to put in. This family, I come to say, hey, we thank you, Bishop. We thank your wife and I don't want to go down the line, your sisters, but the entire family, because you all have stood the test of time. And then as I look back and they say, Coach, when you say you're getting ready to close, you close about 3 or 4 times. But as I've looked at Laurinburg Institute, I think the individuals here and the founders and everyone that passed this way, there's a thought that I'd like to say. And it said, if I can help someone along my way, then my living will not have been in vain. And that's true. You got the help. Laurinburg has been there when there was no other institution that will let Blacks come in and call it their own. So therefore, we got to keep that. A lot of people from Laurinburg and the ones that still there have helped a lot of people along the way. We too must take up that same motto and say, we're going to help. We got to get out there and help. As I close again, I just thank Laurinburg and all the outstanding individuals who have worked behind the scenes, in front of the scene to do the things in Laurinburg. But I close in saying that we still have a long way to go. And we just got to keep our shoulder to the plow, if you all know what I'm saying. We didn't start with anything. But the little we have, we got to make certain we keep it, and we make that certain that it continues, and we continue to grow with that. You know, I'm not going to pray. I'm not going to pray right now because I listened to the prayer this morning, and I was fired up after listening to the prayer. But I'm certain God has looked up on Laurinburg and smiled many times for the work and the efforts that were put in. So I close in saying, thank you, Bishop. Thank you, Representative Pierce, for being here and your words of encouragement. And I can go through all of these other things about the Education Institute, but we've already had a picture of the book on here, and I want everybody to go out and buy that book so you can read and look at the history and look at all of the things and all the credits to Laurinburg Institute for what they've already completed and what they will be doing from this time on. Bishop, I'm always at your disposal. Just call me. We're getting ready for the big band concert here at the stadium on tomorrow, and hopefully you all will look at it on TV. I know you probably won't travel here, but once again, thank you, and let me just stop, Bishop, and say
stop on one
my
thing
time
here.
is appreciated.
Okay, I want to give you an opportunity while Representative Pierce is here. Can you hear me, Willie?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. You said we got to have a swimming pool for this community. There is not a swimming pool in this county, and we need one. And Mr. Pierce helped develop the pool over in Hope County, and we got to ask him to help us have one right here. Now we got a hole in the ground inside the gym. We got to go and now develop it so it can be a pool, but it will be the only pool. So Willie, did you find out something about, you say you were going to chase down some entities that had funding for that, and maybe we can challenge Representative Pierce to match something while we're here today. Can you hear me, Willie?
And move forward. And we set that as one of our goals, Representative Pierce, that we will have a swimming pool for everybody in Scotland County. I will make certain that I share that information within the next 15 days.
Okay.
So when next year, and we come on this Founders Day program, we should have a pool. Or we should have the mechanisms in place that we will be receiving a pool. Or we're going to get a pool some kind of way because it's needed. I mean, the stats and everything prove out that a pool is needed. So we're going to work on those needs. Okay?
All right. God bless. Okay. Thank you both. I turn
And
the
thank you
program
all.
back to you, Ms. Rashada. Thank you, guys. You're muted, Rashada.
Looks like Anna has a question or would like to say something.
Okay, Anna.
The only thing I was going to say is it would be nice to have a pool, and it also would be nice to have the gym at least fixed up so we can have a summer program out here to get the children or the kids off the streets and away from bad, away from the guns and stuff, to get them doing something during the summer, like a summer program like you used to have out here for the kids.
You're right.
Not just a pool, but a gym fixed up for them to play basketball, get them away from weapons and away from drugs and stuff like that. Let there be a summer program or a summer camp like they used to be.
Camp Horizon. That's what it was called. Thank you, Anna.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll turn the program back over to Ms. Doggett and Ms. D.
All righty. Let's see here. Give me one moment. All right. Let's go ahead and move into Bishop, would you like to do the presentation of, since we've had most of our speakers, would you like to do the presentation for the recognition?
Sure, I'll be delighted to.
Bishop, before you do that, I don't think my mom has had a chance to.
Sure, go right ahead, Fran. Fran Foster.
What am I to do now?
You have remarks, Mom?
Oh, yes. It was about 11:30 last night when I had some things that I really wanted to say to this group.
Sure.
That's meeting for the 121st Founders Day celebration. It's unbelievable to me that 121 years have passed since my grandparents, Tiny and Emmanuel, came to Laurinburg from Alabama to share what education and knowledge they had amassed. And they wanted to share it with Black people in Scotland County. And they wanted to share it because there was no school for Blacks at that time in the whole county or in surrounding counties. This was about, when they came, it was about 38 or 39 years after the Civil War. They came in 1904. The Civil War ended in 1865. It was hard times for ex-slaves across this country in 1904, especially in southern states. Hard times. And so I just wanted to let you all know what the climate was like at the time that they came. Whites in the South in the 1800s, after the Civil War ended, hated Reconstruction. And they hated Blacks having any rights, any little bit of equality, and the vote, and some positions in government. And so slowly and violently, they begin protest, intimidation, and fear. They increase beatings and killings begin to take place. And around May of 1898, the red shirts, which had formed in this county, decided, these were Democrats who advocated for white supremacy and who were now, in 1898, more than 2,000 members strong. They decided that the time had come to take action. They began this action with beatings of Blacks to strike fear in them, and they murdered 3 Black men. And then they said they were ready. And 2,000 red shirts, which is the equivalent of the Ku Klux Klan, mostly on horseback, paraded through Laurinburg, including the Black communities, demanding white superiority and having banners that they flew that said the same. The parade that they had through Laurinburg and through these Black communities was over 1.5 miles long. And the red shirts not only hated Blacks, but they intimidated whites who were Republicans. But they visited hell upon any Black man who continued to claim his right to vote. As mentioned, 3 Black men were murdered during this time that were from Scotland County, and many were severely beaten. These whippings got so bad, these beatings got so bad, that some Black people were afraid to sleep in their home and went from their homes at night to sleep in the woods because they thought they would be a little safer. Many were beaten, many lynched, and many shot. And I want you to know, those of you who have seen or heard about the Wilmington Massacre, that Wilmington followed Laurinburg's lead. And when the massacre was to take place, a special train was loaded with 150 Laurinburg men that were red shirts heading to Wilmington to participate in the Wilmington Massacre. I didn't know all of this, and I'm sure some of you don't. But this is what life was like for Blacks in Scotland County when my parents in 1904 came to Laurinburg. They had obtained their education as work-study students at Snow Hill Institute that was started by one of the first students of Booker T. Washington, and his name was William J. Edwards. They had 15 cents when they got to Laurinburg. So they had education, they had 15 cents, and they had a dream. And the dream, with the help of some members of the Laurinburg community, became a school. And the school was Laurinburg Institute. It's also hard for me to believe that that I graduated from Laurinburg Institute 66 years ago. But when I graduated, I went off to compete with both Blacks and whites. I went off to other schools and other states. I attended college and graduate school to prepare for a career. And I was ready. I was ready, just as some of you have testified. And I was ready so that I could please my dad and become a good, law-abiding, tax-paying citizen. Bishop, how many times did we hear that?
All the time.
It's so hopefully the dream that my parents and my dad, my grandparents and my dad and Bishop is still alive, and it can and will be revitalized. Why? Why does it need to be revitalized? Because, as my grandmother would say, because there's trouble in the elements. Blacks right now are in for a tough time. The school must be revitalized and grow because of the overwhelming need and demand for young Black people to attend a school where they matter, where they will be well and vigorously educated, not allowed to just get by, where they will develop academically and develop any special skills they have, like music or sports or speaking, where they can be told that they are somebody and that they matter, that they are loved, to emphasize that they are from a long line of somebodies who survived. They survived capture. They survived the Middle Passage. They survived slavery. They survived the long, drawn-out, brutal period after slavery. They survived it all so that young Blacks, so that they could be here, could exist and be ready to fight for their place in America. I don't know if you guys, any of you, have heard of the phoenix, which refers to a mythological bird that dies in a fire and regenerates and is reborn from its own ashes. The phoenix symbolizes resilience, renewal, and overcoming adversity to emerge stronger after near destruction. As Reverend Pierce knows, in the early Christian church, it became a symbol of resurrection and new beginnings. So we need to organize to raise money for Laurinburg Institute for growth and expansion. And I would like to take this opportunity to introduce the head of our capital campaign, Miss Janet Randolph Lowry. If we could just take a minute, Bishop, to recognize her.
Okay. Yes, we had her earlier, but we certainly will recognize her again. Go right ahead, Miss Janet Randolph Lowry. You're on mute, Miss Janet.
Okay. Thank you, Fran, for those nice words. I want to clarify what we're really doing here. I am a project manager, and the goal of this project that I'm managing is to ensure a steady and generous income stream for the Laurinburg Institute. We have not yet launched the capital campaign because at this point we are in a campaign readiness period, which means that we are examining all of the planning that goes into running a school and documenting many things that have happened at the school for many years, but making sure that it is documented in a way that when we ask people for huge amounts of money, we can show that the school is being run very well. And we now have a business plan, a documented business plan in place. We have a developing capital campaign plan in place. And one of the most important elements of any organization that wants to raise money is a working and interactive website. And the Laurinburg Institute website is now up and running. Anything that you want to know about the Laurinburg Institute is available on that website. If you wish to make a donation, and you will be definitely asked when you visit the website to make donations. And if we have documentation of you being an alum or a supporter of the Laurinburg Institute, we'll be contacting you and asking you to make large, generous donations to this school so that we can do exactly what was started in 1904. I know it seems like we've made a lot of progress since 1904, but the fact is there are people trying to push all that progress backward, trying to eliminate all that progress. And that is unacceptable because there are also many, many people who look different ways, who are willing and able to support the rededication of this school. And that's the team that I am working with is committed to making this happen. And it takes a lot of planning to launch a campaign like this. And we are making progress in that planning, and you will be alerted when the campaign is ready to launch, and you will know what we're asking of you. So that's it in a nutshell. The Laurinburg Institute Capital Campaign will be launching within the next few months, and you will be a part of that. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Janet.
Do you have questions? If many of the questions you might have, you can get answers to on the website, or you can talk with Bishop because he is deeply involved in this whole process. Bishop and Cynthia and Fran and the rest of the board, they are deeply involved in this process. And we are working through together. So I would ask for your blessings, your prayers, and your good wishes for the launch of this campaign that will relaunch the activity of the school. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Janet.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Janet.
very much. I want to identify Mr. Lionel Gums, who's calling in from the U.S. Virgin Island. His father, Lincoln Gums, and some black men there and a great white man developed the process that brought well over 40 to 70 students from the Caribbean to Laurinburg Institute. Lionel, are you there?
No.
Lionel? Okay, while he's coming back to the mic, I want to push over to.
I am not finished, Bishop.
Oh, okay, go right ahead.
We feel that we have ignored the school too long, not intentionally, but everybody's just gotten busy in their life. We need the school to become academically stronger and second to none. We need the school to be a refuge for intelligent, talented, aspiring young Blacks so they can spread their wings and grow. As my daughter says, we have to continue to meet the students where they are and develop them. For this to happen, I go back to the Phoenix. This institution will become more relative, vigorous, and a place where our youth can thrive. They must be well-prepared academically, second to none. That's the first must. They must excel in extracurriculars for which they have talent in order to fit into the broad world that they must enter. They must be well prepared to speak. They must be confident. They must be kind. And they must be tough because it's tough out there in the world. I really wish young Blacks did not have to go out into an unfair, unjust, racist world with all its challenges. I certainly wish my grandchildren did not have to, as I'm sure Janet wished her grandchildren wouldn't have to do that. But they have no choice. Ready or not, as adults, they must go out in it. They have to face the force of the wind. They have to go get it. They have to compete, and they have to thrive. If they're not prepared, this world will have them, will chew them up and spit them out. If they're not prepared, this world will have them stay in their own communities and try to destroy each other in order to survive. We don't want that. We want them to be able to compete in the larger global world, but it's hard out there. It's hard out there. So we must try harder to help prepare a place for them. And this place is Laurinburg Institute. I think we can do it. I know we can do it. How about you? How about you? I'm inviting you to join us as we attempt to grow Laurinburg Institute. I'm through, Bish.
All right. Or it's back over to you, Ms. D. Williams. And I just
Thank
sent
you,
a
sir.
message to Lionel Gums, and I hope he and some others will come back on. Thank you all. Go right ahead, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Bishop. Thank you so much, Ms. Foster, for your words of encouragement. Thank you so much for dropping all those gems. I think that you have issued the call to all of us here on this Zoom call today. We are blessed to know that you along with all of those that have come before myself and those here on the call, we we have gained some wisdom here today. We have gained some knowledge, and there are many that need to hear what has been said today. As we move forward in the program, we are going to move into our third phase. We're going to have we're going to have a musical tribute. Then we'll move into our awards and recognition, and then we'll move into the closeout portion of the afternoon. And I'm going to turn it over to Rashada.
Rashada, before we pick back up, could we recognize a few people that have been here all day? And I just know how things can be. I like to call back for Lionel Gums. Have you come back on, Lionel?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, let's look at you. There he is, Lionel Gums. Thank you, Lionel. And after Lionel, I got to bring my friend Joe Frober, and before anything else, Gladys Ingram. Go right ahead.
Well, hi, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Lionel Gums. I'm an alumni of Laurinburg Institute, class of 1981. And I just want to say that Laurinburg has been a blessing to me throughout my years that I was there. I actually came up there in 1977. It was different. Being 15 years old, being on your own, my older brother was there with me. At the time, there was only like 7 Virgin Islanders from there. Laurinburg became the community as far as the McDuffies and the teachers and everyone became my parents at that time. And, you know, they helped mold and shape me into the man that I am today. I want to always thank them for the opportunity to be there, to learn and to grow. I actually came there to, you know, to play sports and be a student at the same time. I actually went to St. Andrew's Presbyterian, just like just down the street from Laurinburg. So I did my college years over there when I left from Laurinburg. So Laurinburg itself has been my home for about 9 years. So I was really thankful for that. And when I left St. Andrews, I came back to the Virgin Islands and I became a school teacher. So I teach physical education here in the islands. And I'm getting ready to close that part of my life out right now. This is my 40th year teaching. I'm getting ready to retire and, you know, try and get into something else.
You're too young.
Well, you had never retired. So I will be getting into something else. I'm not going to sit back and do nothing. Okay? Just want to give my commitment as well to Bishop and to everyone on the call, on the Zoom call, that I'm willing to help in any way that I can to bring that community back to where it was. It was an eye opener for me. It was a very good experience. The change, the difference in culture and everything, it was a big learning experience, and it opened my eyes. I took a lot for granted when I was here in the islands, but when I got there, I had to learn to do a lot of stuff on my own. Had to actually master the different things, like learning to cook. Uh, uh, whatever you do, whatever your parents taught you to do at home, you have to master them now that you're on your own. So Laurinburg has been a blessing to me, and whatever I can do, I will. Um, I will do. So you can call me anytime, Bishop.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I really.
Let's try to plan some event in the U.S. Virgin Islands so everybody here can have a chance to come and see the beautiful island.
Yeah.
We can try to organize that together.
That sounds good to me. That sounds
Okay.
good to me. Whatever I can do, just let me know.
All right. Thank you, Lionel.
All right, no problem.
Okay. I got a few other people who need to get recognized. Renee House. Let's hear from this young lady. If you want to say anything, Renee, we want to hear what you have to say. Thank you. There you go. We can hear you now, Renee.
Yes, just that I've been excited all the years to hear the growth and see just the progress and all of the accomplishments that has come from Laurinburg Institute. I mean, to come from a small town, Laurinburg, Scotland County, I'm proud when I see everything that's going on and how you sustained for 121 years. Like, that is amazing. And to see how your family truly, Bishop, the McDuffies, y'all, Fosters, all of you all have just pulled together to keep Laurinburg Institute relevant, and current and up to date. I am extremely proud. And as a graduate of Benedict College, to know that our school has also been a part of furthering education from those who have attended at Laurinburg Institute. I am very proud. So yes, yes, yes. Congratulations again on the 121 years Founders Day.
And this young lady is Mr. Stewart's daughter.
Yes, yes. Proud product.
All right. I want to identify, and I'm going to just go by what's on my screen. I'm going to bring Joe Frober on to say greetings and thank him for taking time today to be with us. Joe?
Well, thank you for inviting me, and I certainly would have played my alto saxophone today if I'd done no one could hear it.
We got to figure that out, Joe.
in all sincerity, I pledge my assistance in regards to anything I can do regarding this important endeavor. And I'm there for you. Sending much good karma, best wishes, and hope we can get this accomplished in a reasonable amount of time.
Joe was a Carolina man and a owner of a bar one time, Bar and Grill over in Raleigh. And that always fits well with the Tar Heels and the Duke Blue Devils, Joe. Okay, thank you, Joe, for being on the call.
Oh, thank you.
His wife is a wonderful woman, and he has some children that do things all over the country. One is a master chef up in New York City. And if you ever get up there, I think he will certainly accommodate you. Just let me know when you're in New York, and I'll get you the address of where to go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Gladys Ingram, you care to make a remark of any type? Gladys, you've been with us the whole while. Thank you for being diligent. You're on mute, Gladys. You're on mute. Take your mute button off. Glad, you're muted. Can you take off? There we go.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm alumni from the first grade to 67. That was my school. I We started with the Hall of Fame in 1914 with the president, Mr. Marcus X, was the president of the first one. And he asked me to be his vice president, and I accepted. And I have been working with the Hall of Fame ever since. I became a Hall of Famer in 2019. And I have enjoyed every step, and I don't mind working. Anything that I can do, I don't mind doing. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Samantha Smith. Take your mute off, Samantha. There you
Yes,
go.
sir. Yikes. Yes, sir.
This is your moment to speak and let people know what you're thinking.
I like it.
She's
And
a
Mr.
student.
Mr. McDuffie is a very great friend of mine and a teacher. So is Miss McDuffie.
Okay. And who won the quiz bowl today?
Me, Mama, and Miss Renee.
All right. Well, congratulations, Samantha.
Thank you.
Okay, we have I'm gonna bring up Starworth last, but I want to bring Patricia Ricks. This is Cynthia's sister. She's an attorney. She graduated from Carolina with honors in math and then went on to law school at Boston College and has two very successful North Carolina A&T Aggies that are grown and doing great things. So Pat Ricks, floor is yours. Take your mic off on mute. There you go.
Yes, good evening, everyone. It's so good to see all of you and to hear all of the good words, inspiring words from Bishop and Fran. And I know you all have been working hard, and I want to applaud you for your perseverance and your tenacity. And as we know, history is prologue. So the story of Tiny and Emmanuel is always uplifting because we know that if we think we have it hard, they really had it hard. And for them to come up from Alabama on foot with the dream of starting a school for Black children and to see it through to the end is just amazing. And it's just it's very uplifting and encouraging that you are still fighting at this time with all of the things that are going on now and all of the challenges that Black students face. I want you to just keep at it and keep having faith, the faith that your grandparents and great grandparents had. So, of course, anything I can do, let me know, and I'm in your corner.
That's good to know, Pat.
Oh, yes.
Okay, thank you, Pat. And we'll go to Mr. Jerry Lavoisier Stallworth.
Thank you, Bishop.
Yes,
so this has been very inspiring. It's good to see people come together and working on a common cause, which is Laurinburg Institute. And I've cherished my friendship with Bishop. I think we met several years ago in Hawaii. And he told me about the campus, told me who he was, and I knew about Laurinburg, even though I went to Davidson College. I'm a Davidson College grad, but I feel very close to Bishop, his family, and I just hope we can work together and bring good things, good for the school and its community. And let's just stay positive. Thank you.
Jerry's been asked to head our sports rehabilitation and relaunching platform. And, he said he went to Davidson College, but, Davidson and Carolina were on par when Charlie Scott took the opportunity to go to Carolina. And now they have created a great superstar, what's his name? And Steph Curry, one of the greatest NBA players to ever play. So I want to make sure that we've identified everybody. Everybody's had a chance to say something. And I want to get the program back over to Rashada. We're charging forward with a hard stop at 3 o'clock. And I'm looking forward to seeing Rashada's family members in their presentation. So Rashada, the floor is back in your hands. I can't thank Dee enough. Dee is a proud bulldog from South Carolina State University. She's a Delta. And Dee, when I said Delta, Fran's eyes lit up, Carmen's eyes lit up, Cynthia's eyes lit up, and
Little Fran's
eyes lit up, and Tony is looking forward to her opportunity. So, Rashada, the floor is back to you, and I can't thank you. The person that did all this work was Rashada Bernadette, and then she had a committee, and those people on the committee, some of them are here, and I just want to salute you and thank you for the hard work you did. Floor is yours, Ms. Rashada.
Thank you.
Bishop, before Rashada comes, on behalf of the board, I'd like to say that this has been excellent. You kept it going. You've made it personable. We've enjoyed getting to know about each other again, and it's been so smooth. Thank you so much for doing this for Laurinburg Institute.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. I have a bit of a treat for everyone. My husband is a singer, songwriter, in addition to being a pastor. And so he has given us a special song. It's a song for you, his rendition of it. And so I'm going to play that. And then I'm going to turn the rest of the program back over to Bishop for him to give us closing remarks. We also will put together all of the information from today, the video. We'll put that all together into an email and make sure that everyone who's attended has it, from the recognition, the appreciation certificates, and all of those great things will be put together in one booklet, just so that you all can have it as a souvenir of today, as well as a link to be able to watch this Zoom over again. I also put in the chat the information to watch the mini documentary from last year's celebration that we had in person, which was amazing. So hopefully 2026, we can all come together in person and not virtual, and actually come together to celebrate. So more details to come on that as well. So give me one moment.
I've been so many places in my life and time. I've sung a lot of songs, and I made some bad rhymes. I've acted out my life on stages with 10,000 people watching. But we're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. I know your image of me is what I hope to be. I treated you unkindly, but darling, can't you see? There's no one more important to me, baby. Can't you see through me? 'Cause we're alone now, and I'm singing this song to you. You taught me precious secrets of a did nothing. You came out in front when I was hiding. And now I'm so much better. And if my words don't come together, listen to the melody, 'cause my love is in there hiding. Oh, listen to the melody. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. You in a place where there's no space or time. Baby, I love you with my life. You're a friend of mine. And when my life is over, remember when we were here together and we were all alone, and I was singing this song to you, baby. Remember that I love you in a place where there's no space or time. Baby, I love you for my life. You're a friend of mine. And when my life is over, remember when we were here together and we were all alone, and I was singing this song to you. We were all alone, and I was singing this song to you.
Wow. Wow. Titus, get down, Titus. Tell your husband we really enjoyed it and thank him. He's got a God-given talent. Wonderful.
You're very
Wonderful,
welcome.
wonderful. I want everybody to see, if we can, before we go, I want everybody to see Bernadette. She's behind the scenes. I know that. That's what she normally does. And then I want you to have something to say, Rashada. So Bernadette, thank you and welcome to the Tigerland.
Thank you, Bishop. It has truly been an honor to be here to celebrate 120 years of Laurinburg Institute's legacy. This is actually my second Founders Day celebration, and each year I am inspired and I learn even more about the vision of the McDuffies and the generations who have carried the torch forward. It is truly a pleasure to work with Laurinburg as we move the legacy forward. I'm excited about the future, and I can't wait for future generations to understand the legacy of Laurinburg with deeds and not just words. And I pray that that will continue to guide us into the future. Thank you again, Bishop.
More than welcome, Bernadette. And Ms. Doggett, we'll wrap up the individual presentations with you. And I want to just really, really take my hat off to you young people.
I'm a woman of very few words. I like to stay in the background. So I just appreciate the opportunity to be able to be a part of such a rich history and to bring my expertise, my family, my friends along the journey to just help bring awareness, to help bring people into the world of Laurinburg. Before Dr. Reverend Poe introduced me to Bishop McDuffie, I had no idea about Laurinburg, and it has been such an amazing journey from 2019 to now. And I'm just excited about just being able to be a part to assist in the rebuilding and launching Laurinburg far, far into the future, so the legacy would not end.
Miss Sargett, before you go, I'd like to say the building that is behind her, did you explain what that building was, Bishop?
No.
So the picture of the building behind her is
Moore Hall.
Huh?
You're going to say the name Moore Hall.
And it was the old, quote, high school building where there was the administrative offices were there, along with the classrooms and along with a chapel and auditorium where many concerts were given through the years, some for Laurinburg Institute, but most that included the general public. I didn't know if some people wondered what that building was. I just wanted to explain it to them.
And that also was the building where, when a decision had to be made, should Laurinburg close once integration occurred? And the students and the community went into that building, followed parliamentary procedures, voted that they wanted Laurinburg to stay open. And they came out of that building, and that was when the march of the bricks from the old campus to the new campus proceeded out of. And that movement is how all of that campus was taken apart, walked across the creek, and reassembled. And that's the building we're charged with developing now. So I want to thank everybody for your time. We have a very required and necessary hard stop at 3. So before we actually depart, Rashada, did you have any final comments or next steps? Any thoughts?
No, if everyone could please copy the link in the chat to donate, that would be amazing to just show your support. It looks like Anna has her hand up. Go ahead, Miss Anna.
The only thing I would like to say is me and my family enjoys. We only been here at the institute and been Miss McDuffie's students for a year now, or going to be a year. We enjoy being here, and we're trying to spread the word and the message about Laurinburg Institute. And so we really enjoy it. We're learning more and more about the institute because we came from Florida. So we're learning more and more about the institute. So we wanted to say thank you to Mr. and Miss McDuffie for letting us be involved in it.
Thank you, Anna. And that was her husband, Robert, in the background there. Rob, stick your head back around the door.
Bobby, well, Mr. McDuffie says sticky head back around the door.
We just want to say hello to you, and we have enjoyed you and your family, Robert. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you know, the boss always get to make the last remarks, and the principal here at Laurinburg Institute is Cynthia McDuffie. So I'm going to give her, the boss, the chance to do her thing. Okay, here we go.
Well, Rashada had me down for the closing with you. So
Sure.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's on the call today. It was very, very encouraging to see former students and to get well wishes from everybody. And I think what it's showing is that if we work together, anything can be accomplished. And that's what we'll be looking forward to. And to those that are, part of that Hall of Fame, we wanted to certainly recognize you today again and know that you've set a new bar, hopefully for excellence. You've shown us what's possible when talent meets hard work. All of you are very talented, and I know you work hard. And to each of you, be proud of what you've achieved. Your efforts will benefit yourselves and others for a very long time. And you haven't just met expectations, but you redefined them. Thank you for your outstanding work. Knowing you, we're all better off for knowing you and having you as part of our team. Your success is our success. Congratulations again on the well-deserved recognition as a member of the Hall of Fame. And don't let this point be the ending point, but it's a beginning. Let this recognition fuel your ambitions and inspire you to reach even higher. The world needs your talents, your ideas, and your leadership. And I was sitting here thinking about it, Laurinburg Institute. I was in high school. I went to a basketball game. Hillside in Durham was pretty good high school for the state. And we thought we were. And the school came in, these tall young men, black guys came in and played us, and
we dress.
and they were dressed in their suits and ties and everything. So that night after the game, I asked my daddy, I said, Daddy, have you ever heard of a school called Laurinburg Institute? He said, Oh, sure, I've heard of it. And the thing about it, his father was principal of a private all-black congregational school in Kings Mountain, North Carolina called Lincoln Academy. So it just seems that when Bishop and I met, it's kind of like divine intervention. I come down to Laurinburg Institute to work at the school. My family was in education and his family was in education. And we've been trying to work together to keep the school going and doing as much as we can. But one thing Bishop won't ever let me forget is that Hillside, the best team, basketball team they ever had, the only school that beat us was Laurinburg Institute. So I hear about that. He won't let me forget that. But as we close out today and reflect on the history and journey of Laurinburg Institute, let us remember the values, the character, integrity, leadership that have guided this school all these years from Tiny and Emmanuel. Let us honor their hard work, dedication, and perseverance of all those who have paved the way for us. Their vision and leadership have brought us to where we are today. And it's up to us to continue their legacy and build upon their achievements. On this Founders Day, let us also reaffirm our commitment to excellence, innovation, and community service. Let us work together to create a brighter future for Laurinburg Institute and the people we serve. Let us continue to inspire and empower one another to make a difference in the world. In closing, I encourage all of us to embody the spirit of our founders, Tiny and Emmanuel, in everything we do, Frank and Sammy also. Let us strive for greatness, lead with integrity, and always seek to make a positive impact on the world around us. Thank you so much once again for being here today and for being a part of our Founders Day celebration. Here's to many more years of success and growth. Thank you.
Here, I drank to that, as Joe would say. All right. Okay, Rashada, you all get the last hoorah. So we'll wrap up as you direct. You're on mute.
All right, I would like to get a group photo if possible. So if everyone can come on camera as if you can. If not, it's okay. But so that I can put the group photo inside our commemorative digital book, I would like to get everyone's face if possible. And just let me know if you can't. Just come off of mute and say I can't. If not, if you
I
can.
don't think I can, Rashada. I've been
Okay.
trying to get on the camera all day, but it's not working.
You're on. You're on, Jerry.
I'm sorry. Oh,
We
okay.
see you.
Bring your camera down just a little bit because your face is below the screen. There we
There
go.
we go. There we
Okay.
go.
Handsome guy. Look at him.